Okay, so your last video for the year, and we are going to look at Blue Sort 24, and this is the end sort for a unit that we've been doing. So I've skipped a few sorts to kind of pick the best sorts out of the unit that we're doing so that you don't miss out on some good stuff. Okay, so this week is a bit different. We're not actually doing, I'm not teaching you any particular rules. It's kind of the summary sort for the end of this unit, and we won't actually be doing headings and then sorting them. We're actually going to be grouping words together in little clusters. So let me actually just turn to sort 24. Okay, so sort 24, I've just got some lines on mine, so I'm just going to rub mine out. Now I've got a little bit of American spelling in some of these words. So we'll see if we can spot it, but I'll change it for when I photocopy it for you. Probably wobbling that camera all about. Okay, so here is your Blue Sort 24. So what we're going to be doing, see there's no headings. So we're going to be going through this list and thinking, okay, let's pull out words that belong together. So I'm going to pull out the word physics, and we're going to go through and pull out physical and physicist. So these three words we're going to cluster together and have a little look at them. And we're going to have, by the end of it, we're going to have a few words. How many will we have? Let's have a look. We'll have 8 trios of words. So they're all in little groups of 3. So let's look at physics. Physics, physical, and physicist. So the whole theme of this unit that we've been doing, is using your understanding of base words to help with your spelling. So this sort is really just emphasizing this idea of themed words. So we've got physics, physical, and physicist. So physics is the study of the physical world. Physical is obviously something to do with movement. Often it's to do with your body. Like people say your physical well-being, they're to do with your body, but physics is to do with what we can see and touch and move around. And physicist, as is often the case, an ist, is the person who studies physics. So we can look at the base word there. So we've got physic is essentially the base word, although it's not really. We don't really use it as it's on its own because it's always got the S on it. Physics. We've got physical and we've got physicist. And I just wanted to take notice of this. So suddenly we've got physics, physical, and now we've got physicist. So suddenly this pesky little word letter here suddenly turns into an S sound, and that's because it's followed by I. Because remember, when C is followed by I, E, or Y, it makes the S sound. So that's just following a spelling rule. But for the sake of spelling, if you were to sit down and write out the word physicist, you would be forgiven for thinking physicist. That would be, oh, you have lots of S's in there, physicist. Well, that looks correct, doesn't it? But now remember, we're trying to tap back into your understanding of the base word, because if you knew a physicist studied physics, you'd be going, right, well, I know the base word's going to be something along the lines of physics, physicist. Now you spelt it correctly, okay? So we're going to be looking at base words to help us spell words that sound a little bit different, but we know the word that it's related to. So let's have a look at another. Let's look back at our sort and see if we can pull out another. Let's look at critic, criticise, and critical. Now notice I'll change that to Australian spelling for me, photocopying that, and they'll become S's because we don't use Z's like that. So let's have a look. We'll have critic, critical and Now, think about the base word. Before I write the word criticise, I'd like you to have a guess how you think it's spelt. Well, you've got it in your word sort, but put it to the side and see if you can guess that we're going to have a C there to make that S sound. Criticise. So that's the key error in that word. Because we say critic, critical, criticise. And the reason it says the S is because we've got I following it. But you wouldn't necessarily think that through if you're writing out criticise, and more so than with physicists, because that has so many S's in it already. It started looking a bit weird with an S there. You might think, oh, hang on, this doesn't look right. But you might be forgiven for thinking criticise looked like that. But it isn't. It's a C because the base word is critic. So if you use your understanding of base words, it really, really starts to help your spelling come together. Okay, so let's do a few more. So we've got public, publicise, so keep that C there, and publicity. So public-ity, but because it's now followed by an I, we pronounce it as an S. However, because you know the base word has got a C, you're going to continue to use a C in that spot. Okay, we've got accept, we've got exception, and we've got exceptional. Okay, there's nothing actually too tricky in that one. Accept, exception, exceptional. So it's actually got a double ending there. Okay, politics, politics, political, and politician. And this is a good one. You'd be tempted to put a T there, I'm sure. But because you're going to think to yourself, no, I know politic is the base word of politician, because a politician is someone who does politics. So you're going to think through and you're going to say, no, politic, I-A-N, politician. Because C-I-A-N can make the shin sound. And then you're going to start spelling tricky words like that correctly because you understand how to use base words to help you spell words properly. Okay, family, familiar. That's really familiar to me. The reason why we use the word familiar is family. Obviously family is close, intimate, you know each other. So familiar becomes close, intimate, you know each other. And then familiarity, obviously familiar and oh, I've got a hair on my, can you see that's all smudgy? Let me try and get that off. Hopefully that was not attached to my pen. Try and get it off. Aha, there you go. Okay, familiarity, familiarity. So family, now familiar, but when we add an ending, the Y goes away and I comes to stay. So familiar, and then family, ity, familiarity. There is familiarity amongst the students in my class. That's because you know each other. You are all familiar with one another. You're familiar with the routines and the things that go on in Year 5. That's because you've been in Year 5 all year, so you know it really well. Okay, and we've got 2 more word clusters. So I might rub these ones out and go back up here. I'll do them in a different colour so you know that I'm second round. Okay, we've got nation. That's the country or a country. National, kind of easy spelling because we just say national, but we don't say national, so this is an example of a word that's vowel changes. And we've got national, so we take that and then we add ity, nationality. So we've got nation, national, nationality, but we don't say it like that, so we say nation, oh, confusing myself, sorry, nation, so that's a nice long A. And then we've got national, and then we've got nationality. So here we say ul, national, now we say nationality. So each one of those permutates and has slightly different pronunciation for different parts of the word. So sound-wise, they're different, but spelling is the same. So this is the point, and I'll say it again. Focus on base words because it really, really helps your spelling. Because really, here we've got a base word, we're adding AL, and then we add ITY. So if you know base words and you know your endings, spelling just becomes a case of sticky taping bits and bobs together, and you don't even have to be, you know, you can spell a word like nationality, which is actually a really tricky word, and in your mind, you're just saying nation, know how to spell that, national, nationality, done. Okay, and the last triple of words, we've got spirit, we've got spiritual, and we've got spirituality. So see, that becomes an owl, whereas that's an ul, spiritual, spirituality, and that's all on the base word of spirit. Okay, so we have 8 clusters of 3 words. You can put them into your word sort. Doesn't really fit that well into your word sort because it's designed to have headings, but I'll leave that up to you. You can make it work. And really that's just bringing together your sort of what you've been learning about, focus on the base word and help you as you add endings. Okay, so have fun practicing those words and I'll see you soon. Bye.